and welcome back to another episode of the Caledonian Braves podcast. I'm your host for this one, Callum Rattray, and I'm delighted to be joined by Daniel Martins for this. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm very good, thank you very much.
So in this episode, we're just going to go through your career so far, quite a few interesting stops along the way, your time at the Braves, and we'll have a few questions to come at the end. Yep. So just to start us off this season, Daniel, how have you enjoyed your time at the Braves so far?
Yeah, I've loved it. I've loved every moment of it. You know, the ups and downs and the experience of playing here. It's been great.
Because I was actually having a quick look at the stats as well before this one. You're one of only two players to start every game. Do you know who the other player is?
Is it John Guthrie?
John Guthrie,
yeah.
So you've started every single World League this season, 3 goals, 2 assists. And how have you enjoyed that experience of just being such a solid member of the team? Obviously?
Yeah, I really appreciate the faith from the gaffer to give me the platform to play. I've really enjoyed it. Trying to build on every game, every performance that you play. Learn from the last and build onto the next and just keep going. I've really enjoyed that experience. That's been the biggest thing I've taken away from this season, to just keep on building.
Would you say you feel quite settled in with the team?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go obviously into your career in a bit more depth. You've been around quite a bit. Do you feel like this season you've sort of found a place, in the team, and there's been a lot of movement around you? I can count them out of central defender partners you've had. You sort of just felt quite settled in the team.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it goes back to the faith shown by the gaffer. There has been a lot of rotation around me. I feel I've put some consistent performances together and, just try to keep building on that.
So that's what the goal was when you came to the club, just to play as much as you can and settle in a bit. Yeah,
definitely.
So having a look at your career, I've got your teams in front of me you've been at. So career started at Morton. Was that your first professional club you were involved with?
Yeah, that's the first time football really got serious for me. Before that it was more boys club, and then I was playing that at Morton when I was 17, so I was playing juniors before that, which looking back now was actually really good because looking at junior football, being that age, it was tough, but yeah, Morton is where it really started. It kicked off, and it was a great experience over there.
Did you sort of always think you'd grow up to be a footballer when you were playing at a younger age?
I always wanted to. I always loved football. This has always been a big part of my life. Did I know that I would go thingy? I always believed I would, but you need to work hard to kind of get these things. So I'm not gonna say that I knew that I would make it anywhere, and but I definitely wanted to, and that has always been my goal.
How did that move to Morton come about then? How did you get picked up by them?
I was actually playing Sunday League. Sunday League, and there was a guy that knew one of the coaches or one of the scouts or something, I don't really know, at Morton, and then he had him come down and watch, and then I got invited to a trial at Morton, and we went from there pre-season, and I got a contract.
Impressive Morton there.
I know, right? I know.
That's pretty impressive. So in your early years as well, you were born in Nigeria as well. So how did you get across to Scotland, and what was early years?
Yeah, so it was my parents. My parents moved to London first, and we were settled in London. So I moved from Nigeria when I was 4, and then we moved to London, and then from London we then came to Scotland when I was around about 9 years old. So yeah, that's how we ended up in Scotland. And, yeah,
that's how the accent came along.
As well. You have to switch it on and off sometimes, but yeah, that's how the accent came across.
How important are those sort of foundations to you and your family as well then, from your culture that you come from then?
Yeah, it's massive, just every day getting taught these things, trying to be humble, always stay focused, work hard. I'm not saying that that's not what you get in every household, but just mine specifically, that's what I learned from my parents and that household. I've always been a big family guy, and family's always been an integral part of my life. So yeah, I can't thank them enough, my family.
And was sort of moving at that stage of your life, obviously quite young as well, but was it a difficult adjustment to make at all that age, or you sort of felt quite?
Yeah, I've always felt quite settled. It's not like I was moving away by myself. I was always with my family. So at the end of the day, you feel at home wherever your family is. So yeah, it was always quite smooth sailing.
If the day comes for an international call up, Nigeria's on the phone, Scotland's on the phone. Do you know which way you're going?
No answer.
You're not sure?
Both of you ring me and then we'll talk. Both of you ring me, we'll talk.
That's the call you want. So looking through then into Morton, what was your time like at the club? Was that a good experience for you? And Were you sort of playing with the youth teams?
Yeah. So I did the pre-season. When I came in a pre-season. I did that with the reserves. There was a reserve league. I did that with reserves. It was very hard. My time at Morton, it was good in terms of all the stuff that I got to develop football-wise. You know, that's when I really started taking football seriously. You know, I've always wanted to be a footballer, but then that's when I really started taking football seriously, focusing on things, learning technique, learning this, learning that, and I took a lot away from it. Like, I feel like if I didn't get the Morton at that time, maybe my career would be a lot different, you know, in a less positive way. So Morton was a massive part of my career, definitely. It was also a lot of learning to do, you know. It was like being in a full-time environment. It was like school again with new people that you'd never met. So in that sense, it was a bit difficult. Maybe you can get on with people, you can't get on with people. You had to learn a lot of these things, that a lot of different personalities and stuff like that. So there was a lot of positives, there was a few negatives, but at the end of the day, you know, all kind of helped build your character and your presence on the pitch.
Mm-hmm. Would you say those were the main challenges, sort of that age, then just going into a first team, well, you know, a big club environment, sort of like that?
Yeah.
Obviously a championship. Were you training full time?
Yeah, full time.
Well? So were those the key challenges, and is mentality just very important,
Yeah,
would you say?
the most important thing is mentality, you know. The physical aspect, you know, I've always been okay with that. You know, the full time. I never felt drained. I always felt, you know, good, fresh. I was buzzing to train. After training, I would go train after. I would go play fives after with my friends. You know, just a bit naive. I wasn't really professional in the sense of, like, you know, just focusing on taking care of your body and stuff. I would just play football anytime, any aspect I can get to play football, and I enjoyed that. With regards to the difficult parts, was more, I know I wasn't up to the standard of the team at that moment. You know, there was some things that my defensive aspect would make up for it, but then, you know, technically wise, I've always been very self-aware, you know, about my ability on this, or just in general, you know. So when I was at Morton, definitely it was difficult, you know, trying to catch up to the pace of the football, trying to keep up with players with better technique around you and stuff. But yeah, again, it was a good place to learn, and it was a really great experience.
Would you say you're a player that's always, have you always had quite good physicality, even from that younger age as well?
Yeah.
Is that something you've been able to utilise to your ability then?
Yeah, most of my career, well, all of my career really, I've always been based myself around my defending, you know, tenacity, getting stuck in, working hard, and these are like values that are appreciated, especially like in Scotland, you know, working hard and stuff. Again, being self-aware, you need to understand the aspects that you need to develop yourself in, you know, like the technical ability, definitely passing, you know, fast touch, all this stuff. You need to know that you need to iron all these things out to get to the highest level that you want to get to possible. So yeah, we keep on, I'm always continuing trying to improve, but definitely defending, physical ability, physicality, strength, aggression, all this stuff has always came to me naturally, you know.
Would you say the other side of the game, then the technical side, something you maybe might just feel this way, you thought you had to work a bit harder on than maybe some others would do?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, again, it's reflecting back to my career. You know, when I was younger, I was playing boys club, not really, you know, sometimes you play here, sometimes you play there, you're not really playing as much. So I feel like the technical base was missing, you know, from my childhood. You know, a lot of players, I do a lot of coaching as well, and I see these young players, one-to-ones, popping the ball, getting millions of touches every day, stuff like that. That I never had that in my career, you know, so that's something that I've had to put really extra, because I only started, again, getting serious, like really serious, like 16, 17, 18, when I started really focusing on training, focusing on developing. So yeah, definitely technical ability has always been something that I needed to catch up, keep up, and it's been coming along good, you know. I work hard on it, and it's improving every day.
So before that time then, were you not involved with the sort of youth teams of any clubs
No.
at all? Was it all just completely...
No, academies,
sort of
yeah.
working? So you've worked on it yourself, and after Morton as well, you had a spell at Livingston as well?
Yeah, I had a short spell at Livingston. That one wasn't... It was okay. It was a great experience again, you know. Again, even better players, I would say, well, or really good players. You know, looking around you, all the players are sharp, a professional environment, but again, not much game time, so that wasn't. I didn't really take too much away from that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Would you say a lot of it's been stuff you've worked on yourself, as you mentioned, or were there particular coaches maybe at that age that helped you a lot as well? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like throughout my whole career, the coaches have always been integral. Like, I know some people, maybe they don't like their coach, they like their coach and stuff like that, but I've always really appreciated every coach that I've had, you know, whether, you know, maybe they've signed me on or they've released me or something like that, you know. I always feel that there's loads of positives to take away from the coaching. So the coaches have always been massive for me. The training with the coaches, listening to the coaches and taking stuff away from them has always been a key part of my development. So I can't, you know, I feel like, yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah, that's it. Right?
Good experiences. Mm-hmm. And then after Livingston, it was at Alloa you were involved next. Were you there for a bit longer and out on loan as well from what I saw?
Yeah, Alloa was really good. That was straight after Livingston when I wasn't playing much. So, and we were in the same reserve league at the time. Then Alloa comes in and I was playing consistently. This is the first time in my career I started training with the first team. Here and there I must have trained with them a good few times. So it was good. I felt like I was, again, one of the more important players there, playing consistently, training hard, developing a lot. And that was probably, I would say, the best part of my academy days at Alloa.
Would that be the season impacted by COVID, or was that so? Did that throw challenges as well into?
Definitely.
Through that, of course, but would you say that was challenging for your career at that stage when you're sort of making that step up and training in that first team environment? Not like Alloa, was that challenging? Yeah,
well, it was all this was before COVID hit. So when I was at Alloa, I was training, playing for the reserves, training here and there with the first team. You know, when they would need numbers and stuff like that. Then COVID hits and all football stops. So after that was the end of Alloa for me and for a good few other boys, you know, at the reserve team. All the reserve leagues got scrapped, etc., etc. So, yeah, but again, the Alloa experience was probably the best I've had in academy.
Mm-hmm. And then coming through the COVID experience, was that when you moved to Irvine, Victoria? Was that?
Yeah, I actually had a plan to, I know we're going to get onto this, I had a plan to go to Poland, but of course, because Poland, they were playing football still, and I'd been asked if I was interested in coming out. So, in preparation for Poland, when football started getting allowed again, I just wanted to get to a team and, you know, train and keep fit and keep ticking over and, get the most out of it to be ready for my opportunity in Poland. And again, Irvine Victoria was fantastic. You know, they gave me a lot of faith. I was the captain there, played near enough every game. And Irvine Victoria was great as well. Good experience.
And then you've also slightly touched on it there. Very interesting part of your career when looking through. I think a lot of people look at your profile and stint in Poland as well.
Random.
Of these clubs. How did that opportunity come about, and how did you enjoy your experience?
Yeah, so that was after Alloa. You know, I feel like, again, in that period of Alloa, that was the best time of my career so far. So I was thinking, let me kick on and let me keep playing as high as I can and get into first team football, because I'd been training with first. I felt like, you know, I could play. Maybe looking back, maybe I couldn't have, but I felt like I could have played anyway. So I went around emailing, as you do, and there was no football in Scotland at the time. So I went around emailing, and I got something back from Poland. I got a response back. So it was literally just out of the blue, like you would say. I got something back from Poland. I went out there around about February 2021, and I played from there to the end of the season. They have their season in different times from Scotland, so they have a big winter break because it's really cold over there. They can't play. So when I went out to Poland, it was exactly right, exactly. So that was it. It just came out of the blue, kind of just emailing and a good bit of luck.
So that was completely an opportunity you just found just by looking into
chasing
things.
it.
How many emails did you send?
If I show you my emails,
I can only imagine.
It would be ridiculous. I've sent out hundreds of emails. You know, I've sent out hundreds of emails. I remember even Caledonian Braves in 2021. I sent an email to come to Caledonian Braves. So and I got a trial as well. You know, I didn't get signed, but me and the gaffer, we'll talk about that another time.
You got around it.
Yeah.
So the club you were with, apologies on the mispronunciation. Is it Watra Białka?
Yeah, Watra Białka, that's what they said it like. Yeah, that's the Polish accent coming through. But yeah, Watra Białka, yeah, that was it.
And what was life like out there culturally? How did you find that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The thing that I enjoyed the most was, coming away from your comfort zone, coming away from like all your friends and stuff. Obviously I love my friends, but coming away from your friends, coming away from everything and being fully focused on football, fully focused on your craft, it was amazing. Białka was a really quiet city right at the bottom of Poland next to the mountains, so we did a lot of skiing. A lot of that stuff was fun in terms of that stuff, but again, quiet city, you would go to training, come back home, go to training, come back home, go to training, come back home, and you'd be so bored that you're just dying to go to training, So again, it worked out perfectly. It was just a great experience.
So were you just very sort of fixated on your football at that time of your life and just getting into that zone and training and trying to push yourself as much as you could, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I've always tried to be like that, and it is, again, a bit harder when you're at home with all your friends and, you can, exactly, distractions is what it comes down to at the end of the day. But yeah, being sort of taken away from all that and focused on your goal was a great experience, and it really sets a standard for you that you need to always try keep a hold of throughout your career, to always try stay focused, always try, whether you're with your friends, whether you're in your city or whether you're away. Yeah. And
in Poland as well, was there difficulties, language barriers, that kind of thing as well? Was that challenging being a part of the group?
Yeah, definitely. I had a teammate from Canada, shout out Marcel, by the way, if you're watching this. I had a teammate in Canada and he would help translate because he's half Canadian, half Polish. He would help translate, but a lot of the time it was just, in training, while the coach would say something, he would also walk through it, so you just have to be fully focused because, it kind of, when you're watching it so much, it's almost like you can kind of understand the language, but you don't really know what he's saying, but you can see the stuff that he's doing. So again, it's just a full thing. Poland, I would just round up to one word, is just focus, everything. I was just always focused, watching the drills getting done, focusing, really having to look, because you don't want the coach to be trying to repeat himself, or you don't want to be a problem. You want to be like, you just fit perfectly, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just overlooking on that move before we go away from that, would you say just going out there, were you nervous to do that? Was that something, because of kind of going into the wilderness in some ways, something you're not used to? Were you ever, feared a bit about going out there, or was it just, you just see it as an opportunity to play football?
Yeah, again, it could be naive, it could be delusion or whatever, but for me, it was just a perfect opportunity. I just thought, oh wow, could you imagine going out there? Could you imagine everything going well? You don't think about the bad stuff, think about, what happens if you go out there and you fail, I was just working hard and just dying to get out there for an opportunity and see what could come of it, That was really it. There was not much nerves at all. Maybe when you get into the airport, get into the plane, then you think, oh, wow, I'm really going, but getting out there, all the kind of nerves go away once you get onto the pitch and you realise, just another 22 guys on a pitch playing football, passing it, playing, and then you don't really think about anything except from playing football, so the nerves are gone.
Language, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So after your time in Poland, were you always keen to come back to Scotland straight away? Did you sort of set that time frame, or were you ever considering staying out a bit longer?
Well, I was planning on staying out in Poland a bit longer. I had a few visa problems where I couldn't stay as long as I would have liked, because again, it was going so well. I was enjoying the experience, but nonetheless, coming home was also great. It was also great coming home, and I was missing home as well. It was a long time. I was really missing home. Come back, I think at the end of July, start of August. So must have been about 6-7 months I was out there. So yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. And what was the level of football like out there? If you could maybe compare it to perhaps the Lowland League, or anything you'd experienced before? I would say
it's similar to the Lowland League in terms of level, in terms of technique, in terms of players' ability. The football style is very different. The football style is very different. It's a lot of emphasis on possession, a lot of emphasis on keeping the ball, a lot of emphasis on playing better football rather than Scotland, which is more, direct and just you feel like in Scotland it's more just play to win. Of course, everywhere it's play to win, but Scotland is, you know,
Even from a young age,
yeah,
battered in as
exactly. Whether you have to launch it, whether you have to, you know, shape it in the channel, do anything, but there they really emphasised on trying to keep the ball. So it was a good learning curve there, and yeah, I would compare it kind of to a lone league. Yeah.
I mean, would you say that's something you preferred in a way? Is what you've said you know you've worked on your game technically as well, but just that sort of mentality is very different. I agree. You know, watching, you know, playing football younger age as well here, it seemed to always be about winning no matter what.
Yeah.
Younger age, it's not maybe focusing on player development quite as much. Would you say that was something you enjoyed?
Yeah, no, definitely. I felt like it was something that I needed. I really enjoyed it. It's easy to say you enjoyed it now, you know, but when you were learning and you were struggling, it's not like you're enjoying it as much, but I really enjoyed it, and I really needed it. You know, real emphasis on keeping the ball, finding options early, moving it quick, this and all that kind of stuff. You know, it was just so different from what I've grown up playing, you know, like just touching, you know, playing a bit more direct. I've always liked a long ball, I've always played a good long ball, but they're looking for shorter options, keeping it. It helped develop the aspect that I felt I really needed to develop on. So again, it's everything just worked out perfectly.
And then coming back to Scotland, what was your next move then at that stage?
Yeah, so when I came back to Scotland, I came back a bit late. I came back in August, and by this time the season's already started. So I ended up signing with Gretna 2008 in the Lone League. So yeah, that was the move.
And how did you find the time at Gretna? Was it a bit of a difficult time for Gretna around then? Or?
Yeah, well, it was a difficult time for Gretna, definitely. But it was good in terms of playing wise. You know, I was playing every game. I was captain in the side. Really enjoying it, you know, just playing and coming back to Scotland as well. It felt even more special, you know, coming back to Scotland, playing and trying to mix what you've learnt previously from what you already know, you know, into that experience. It was great to have that was my first ever season in Lone League, so it was really great to start playing consistent men's football.
Would you say that time out there gave you a bit of a different mindset on things? Because I'll go down a bit of a tangent here. I'm sure you know Stephen, club secretary. I remember I was speaking to him at the start of the season when you were on trial, and he said that he'd seen you playing for Gretna and he'd sort of, you know, noted your name because he thought you were, you know, no disrespect to any of your teammates there, he thought you were the one player in that team that really played with a drive and sort of looked like you wanted to really kick on. So coming to the club, he was familiar with you and said that about you. So would you say you had a good motivation at that time of your career, and you say that focus you had your time in Poland, things you could carry over into your time in Gretna as well? Yeah,
100%. I feel like I've always had a good motivation throughout my career. You know, I've always wanted to be a professional footballer, go the highest and farthest as I could go, and I still do to this day. So, yeah, thank you, Stephen, for saying those kind of things. You know, thank you for saying those kind of things. But yeah, I felt like my teammates were great and also hungry. But yeah, definitely, I've always wanted to just kick on and just do as good as I can, do the most I can on a football pitch, and yeah, kick on.
And you're the captain there as well. Would you say leadership skills are something you hold yourself to as well?
Yeah, definitely. I've always, you know, liked to communicate. You really get to learn what leadership means when you're playing men's football. You know, it's not just shouting at this person or, you know, yelling and this, that, and the next thing. You know, you have to lead by example, lead by putting an arm around somebody, lead by telling somebody to, you know, come on. Like, so there's loads of different ways to learn it, but that was a good experience to, like, you know, have the armband, and I've always kind of felt like I'm a leader anyway, you know, whether I've got the armband or not. You know, I'm always I feel like I'm a, you know, presence, so I'm always gonna try and be a presence. I'm always gonna be there for my teammates. I'm always gonna dig in for the team and just do everything I can to win.
I mean, it's funny enough, looking at this squad, you are probably one of the older players in the squad.
Yeah, it's
23,
crazy.
Isn't it? Yeah, because I'm 23 as well. All the players signed this summer, you know, you've got 2005, 2006.
Ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
Some talent in there as well. So do you feel like you can, you know, help players through? I mean, someone like Greg Stewart dropping in from midfield to centre back. I think we spoke after was it the Celtic game you stepped in there and you said you didn't even know you could play centre back. But have you felt like you could help players through, you know, Jack coming back from 10-month injury straight in there, and the two of you seem to just have some partnership straight off the bat. Would you say you feel quite comfortable helping guys through?
Definitely,
you can,
definitely. I feel like, again, experiences come into it. I feel like with players struggling, you can help them because I've also struggled. With players coming back from injury, you can help them because I've also came back from injury. I'll always do what I can to help anyone around me. We're in the same team. We all want to win and push on. I'm vocal. I'll help. I'll run extra. I'll do whatever. I'll dig in. I'll tackle. I'll fight whatever I can fight to help my teammates. So definitely, and even if it's just putting an arm around the guys, the younger guys, telling them what you need to do better, what you need to do this. Advice, it can go a long way. I've had a load of advice for teammates, and it really sticks with me. So hopefully, any advice that I can give to my teammates, it can help them for the better.
Mm-hmm. And so, looking at your time at Gretna, 1 season there, and then was it into Caledonian? Your next move after that. How's your time with the Blue Brazil?
Yeah, my time with Blue Brazil was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it again. It was different from Gretna. Full new team in summer, but it was good. Again, it was quite a young squad. Everybody was more age mates with myself, and the Blue Brazil was great. The fans are great. Colin was great. Gaffer was great. Everybody was good.
Was Ian Davidson on the books?
Ian Davidson, really good player.
As a Raith Rovers fan myself, I've seen him play a lot, so having someone like him alongside you must be
definitely. Things like that. That's what I'm saying. Things like that is what you kind of keep in your mind when you go through your career. Just watching him play, trying to take stuff from him. He's a bit more different personality from me. A bit like more chill, relaxed. Of course, because you've played so many games and stuff like that. But
he's a man around.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, these stuff like that, you take that away from all these players, and Cowden Beef again was a great learning experience. Definitely.
Was there? Did you feel much pressure at Cowden Beef? I just looking from an outside perspective, a club that were in the Football League for so long, coming down with ambitions eventually to get back up. Was there a weird sort of pressure there at all, would you say? Or?
No, it was the first time that I really had you could really see a presence of a fan base. You would come out, you would do something good on the pitch, and you would hear a real round of applause. Usually you can't hear anything on the pitch except from the players, but you could hear a real round of applause, stuff like that. So I never really felt any pressure. I don't think that my teammates felt much pressure either. I can't really speak for them, but even if there was outside pressure, I don't think it really pierced into the change room. I feel like everybody was fine, comfortable, and just working as hard as they can.
Mm-hmm. And you weren't there for the full season. I think. Did you play against us the first time around? I think I remember.
Yeah, Cowden Beef. Yeah, I played here. Yeah.
And then you weren't part of the squad by the time you played.
No, I'd left near the end of the season.
What was your next move at that stage?
I went to Caledonian Juniors. for the last 2-3 months of for last season.
Mm-hmm. How did that move come about
then? Caledonian Juniors just came in for me. I wasn't playing as much as I would have liked at Cowden Beef, and Caledonian Juniors wanted me to come in, so I went.
Mm-hmm. And just a few months there then, and then this summer was a bit of a crossroads again, chance to find something new, and obviously the Caledonian Braves come along. Yeah. How did that one come to fruition?
Yeah, well, again, got the gaffer's number. I've had the gaffer's number since 2021, so I gave him a message. I said, can I come down for pre-season? Came down and was working, doing the pre-season, and in turn got a contract.
Was there anything about the Braves that sort of made it earmarked it as a club that you might want to be involved with? So have you been down training with us before?
Yeah, I've trained. I came on trial with you guys 2021 when I came back from Poland. Yeah, I came down with you guys, and whether I wasn't ready or your squad or whatever, up to the gaffer, no. Nothing to say, but didn't get signed in 2021, but I tried again. I've always wanted to play at the Braves. If there was any team in this league, I would always want to be at the Braves, especially because of the 4 trainings a week. You almost train like you're full time, and that's really massive again, trying to develop, trying to really kick on. What better than to train as much as you can with a team that trains 4 times a week?
Mm-hmm. So was that sort of the main selling points coming here, the gaffer and all that training?
Definitely.
Work on your skills,
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know the gaffer really well before I was here, so it wasn't a case of I wanted to come because of the gaffer. We played against the Braves a few times. got beat 7-0 a few times, but so that did play a little part. But definitely it was more just training as much as you can. I see a lot of young lads here. I just felt like this is a nice place to be, and yeah, that's what really made me want to come here.
Would you say you felt quite settled here? Because you seem to get on really well with all the lads, and as I mentioned before, one of only 2 players play every single match this season, started every game in the London League. Would you feel like you found a bit more solidity here?
Yeah, definitely. For probably the first time in my career, well, I've had it a few times, but first time in my career, like really playing every game, really learning, I definitely feel comfortable. I feel comfortable for multiple reasons. One, because the gaffer has shown a lot of faith in me and gave me a nice platform to play. Also because I feel more mature in terms of, again, dealing with, teammates, dealing with new people, meeting new people and stuff like that. The teammates have been great. Yeah, the teammates have been great. But, just dealing with personality, dealing with new banter, stuff like that. If you feel comfortable, you feel a bit more mature, you can take stuff on the chin. Whether you do well, you can take it on the chin, and you don't get too... if you do bad, you don't get too worked up about it. If you do well, you stay humble, you keep on going. So I feel like the Braves has just been it showed a real development in my career. It showed a real development in my character, definitely.
I mean, from talking with the gaffer privately as well, I think we had a conversation once about you and how it was almost just crazy how many clubs you'd been at such a young age. You got settled down and you came here and been part of the furniture at the back for us. Would you say it's been challenging at times to stay motivated when you've bounced around a bit more than you might want to do?
I feel like the motivation part again, it's always never been a problem. I've not struggled to stay motivated. I have friends that want to be footballers. I want to be a footballer, so I'm always working. I'm always grafting. I feel like it's more just finding something. I feel like I got lucky to find something like this where you get a lot of faith. This is the first time I've really been shown a lot of faith and confidence that I can go and play, and confidence to give me every game and give me every opportunity to show what I can do. That has been great. Moving across a lot of clubs, I don't feel like that was the best. If I could go back in time, I would choose to not move around so much and build consistency and build upon performances and build as much as I can. But again, you need to go through these things to learn these things. Now that I'm here and I'm learning that playing more consistently is way more important than just moving around. Yeah.
And so you mentioned a few times being the faith of the gaffer as well as being a lot of the guys you talked to. Obviously, Rookie's a very well respected coach. Would you say that's been a big influence on you this season as well?
Yeah, definitely. He's helped me for a lot. Even from coming in pre-season to where I am now, a lot of development. And again, I can't think of enough.
He's mentioned to me he had a chat with you, and you said you were a goal scorer as well. He was waiting for a while.
Yeah, we were.
And those 2 goals against Celtic came as well.
Yeah.
What game that was,
Yeah, we were having a nice talk. That was when I was signing. A little bit of banter, but there was seriousness behind it. I always back myself to do what I can going forward as well as defending. So, again, the confidence I said I'm just gonna say it. I'll tell him I'm gonna score some goals for you as well. So, it took a while to get going. Definitely. That was really annoying.
Assists in there. That's it. Goal came, but then 2 come along in 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. 2 come along in 2 minutes, and that Celtic game that was special. The first one, getting off the mark, was the best one for me in that game against Cumbernauld.
So as well as that, a couple of assists in there too. Would you say so obviously we all know the physical side of the game there. We know you're going to win 99% of your headers. I feel like diagonals, passing of the ball as well. We all enjoy watching them. Spraying those passes. That part of the game you really put yourself on.
Yeah, that's always been something that I've always did, whether it's doing it too much or or not completing it as much as I should have. But the diagonal pass, long pass, I've always looked for it again. I think it's starting your career, like playing juniors, playing boys club and stuff. It's always been more direct. So polishing that aspect of my game has always been good, and it's always been a strong point in my career to play that long ball. So if I get an assist from it, I'm happy days. If I don't get an assist, if I get the team up the pitch, happy days. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on that.
I think that was a nice one. For anyone watching here, Adam, I'm going to get you to overlay Daniel's pass. I think it was against Gretna. Goal. Cammy Brendan.
Yeah.
That was one. Yeah, that sticks out. That was a good moment. Yeah. So all these skills came in, and you just feel like you've got a place for the Braves now. And looking in, obviously we don't know exactly what will happen in the future. You know, at this stage, the season's gone in scarily quickly. It feels like the end is approaching us. But what would you say sort of your goals are for the future then, and kicking on in your career?
Yeah, just keep developing, keep working as hard as I can, you know, especially getting older. You need to keep the hunger, keep the faith that you can go as far as you can in your career. So that's always been my goal. That still is my goal to this day. I'm going to work as hard as I can, do what's best for the team, for myself, and just push on as much as I can, whether it's going to a higher level, it's continuing with the Braves. I'll do whatever I can to, you know, to develop my career. That's it.
And do you feel like the Braves has been a good platform for you as well, with some of the media stuff that goes out as well, and our links with America and the WeFunder and the support you get online as well? Have you felt some of that as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's been special. You know, it's the first time I've really experienced all this media stuff. Again, it's really good. You know, I feel like it's very bright in the future for the Braves, especially with the WeFunder stuff. Fantastic media team. You know, stuff like this is great for a club, you know?
Because, what we always love seeing when we're streaming a game, we try and get as many comments coming in, and someone's watching from California.
Yeah, from, ridiculous.
Yeah, all the states all around, someone watching in Korea, you know, and that's the kind of thing we're really glad we can put out there.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned you're at Caledon Beef, so you sort of feel that support, you know, from a club, but in a different way, online community here as well. Would you say that's something that's
definitely
too,
especially having people coming down from America, you know, just coming into training and thinking, you kind of not necessarily forget about these things, but it doesn't really hit you as much until somebody comes and it's bang, somebody from the NBA or somebody from NASA or somebody, and you're just like, what is actually going on here? You know, and it's amazing. It's amazing that people are tuned in all around the world, and all the support is appreciated. All the lads feel it. You know, all the support is really appreciated in this team.
I mean, I think that's the thing as well. We've had a few guests come down that we know are going to come. You know, like the two you mentioned there from the basketball world, NASA, and then the other week as well, we're at a game and we're just walking past with some of the media team. We hear a bunch of American accents.
Right.
Your 4 fans that came all the way out from Boston.
Wow.
To watch the game.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So you've got Daniel Martin's International Sports Club.
Hey, hopefully you should get that going, Daniel Martin's International Supporters. But it's special, you know, having loads of people tuned into the team and seeing the team just keep going as high and as ambitious as it is going. It's just really great to see, you know, especially with all the support.
So on the pitch where your focus is looking at this group, do you think there's a lot of chance for development, you know, playing out to your left? Robbie, incredible, he's only 17 years old.
Right.
I think
ridiculous.
Throughout the whole squad, do you think this team's got a real chance to develop on?
Yeah.
Results maybe haven't always been what we'd want them to be this year. It's such a competitive division, but there's hardly ever a game we're in where we're not in it in this division. I think. Do you think this group's got that potential to move
definitely,
on together?
Definitely. A special group, really special group, especially the young lads. I've never seen a bunch of young lads like what we have here. You know, even Enzo, a lot of people don't mention his name. You know, when I came in at the start of pre-season before he got injured, unfortunately, standout player, the age. To my left, Robbie. Let's take a second to just talk about Robbie, right? Robbie's 17, you know? And it doesn't really, I don't think a lot of people really take that in. Like Robbie, that's it, Robbie's 17, he's probably going to school every day, this, that, and the next thing. And, you know, his improvement, his ability on the ball, his willingness to learn, because every time I talk to Robert and I try to advise him, he's always, you know, takes it in a good way and tries to really implement it, and you can see his development on the pitch. You know, Robbie's a fantastic player. I wish if I was 17 I could be as good as Robbie, because, you know, there's a bright career ahead of him, definitely, if he keeps, you know, working hard and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely all the young lads of this team, Josh, Robbie, Lewis, you know, Jacob, anyone that I've missed out. Martin, you know, really good player. And Martin reminds me a bit of myself when I was younger, you know, hungry, wins the ball back, aggressive, you know, on the touch. So definitely a bright future for all these lads at the Braves.
And your little core you've had in the middle for a while, we've not seen Jack playing. That seems to be a partnership that you guys really seem to. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, Jack. But would you say that's, and Bernie as well in the middle, of course, the three are snack testers as well. On the park as well, you guys have had such a good relationship as well, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I've known Jack outside football for a while, I've known Jack probably since I was about 19, so yeah, Jack's a great guy, even better footballer, and same with Bernie. Bernie is one of those guys you just meet and you kind of just get on. He's a really chill guy and he's a great keeper again, so yeah, I've really enjoyed the partnerships around me, especially around me, in the defence. You look to your left, you look to your right, Jack Brown, Jack McDowell, even Greg, Bernie. These guys are all fantastic footballers and even better guys, they're just,
And so we mentioned the media bit as well. I think I've got to ask you as well. So Daniel Martin's a budding TikToker as well. That's brought up every now and then.
Yeah, it is brought up in the group chat, but hey, it's 2024, sorry, so you do whatever you're gonna do. Yeah, exactly.
We're the same, yeah.
Exactly.
Got to get you for an Instagram story takeover.
Maybe I don't mind that.
You're up for that, yeah?
Me behind the camera, I don't mind. It's my second nature.
It is these days. So it's been really interesting there to hear about your career in a bit more depth and your time at the Braves. And just to finish off as well, we did put a few questions out to some supporters. So I've got my paper here, and if you have to go through these questions quickly. So first one was from David on Twitter. We've obviously covered it a bit here, but what was yours? If you could summarise it, what was it like playing in the Polish lower leagues?
Yeah, it was good. It was a great place to learn, great place to learn, great place to focus on developing yourself. And if there's anybody out there considering, going out to play abroad, moving away from home, I would advise it, because it's really good.
Our second question came from Bumpolino on Instagram. Bit of a tactical one here for you. Do you prefer playing in a back three or a back four?
That's a great question.
You've not played a back three too much this season.
Yeah.
Games, wasn't it?
Throughout my career, I've played a lot of back three though. Throughout my career, I played a lot of back three, and even when I came here, at the start of the season, we were playing a back three. So I don't know. I like playing in the middle of a back three a lot, but back four, I think it's more. It's a bit better. I think I enjoy the back four a bit more. Back three was really good because you play more as a sweeper if you're playing in the middle. Balls over the top, then you're just cleaning it up in the channel, stuff like that. But back four demands a lot more of you and it's more, rigid.
One from Exhaust and Sakala, someone I believe. Yeah. Which player's giving you the most problems this season? If you
that's a good question.
About that.
No, of course, that's a good question. There's been a few that have been really good.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a few. The strikers that have given me a hard time. I would probably say Bright Prince, Albion Rovers is a good shout. Somebody who's taller than you, can jump. He's a young lad as well. Sterling Uni striker, the blonde guy with the low socks. I don't know his name, but he's He will know if he's listening to this. That's a really good striker again. I feel like it's a bit more difficult for me to play against the guys that match me physically. That you can that when you get tight, they still have enough strength to kind of hold you off and stuff like that. That's what gives me the harder games rather than the shorter, more agile players. I feel like I can deal with that a bit better. But yeah, Bright Prince is a good one. Joe Bevan, who moved away, was a really good one as well.
Brilliant move for him.
Naya Joseph is a striker that doesn't like to play as a striker when he's playing against you, dropping in, making it hard for you. You don't know whether to commit or stay, and really good striker, Naya Joseph. I think I would probably say Naya Joseph tops the list for the strikers that I've played against in this league. Yeah, of Albion Rovers. Naya Joseph, yeah.
So quite a few guys in the league that you know pretty well by now as well?
Yeah, definitely. I've been in the league for around about 3 years, so I do know a good few names, but even if you don't know the name, when you play against them and you play 90 minutes, you're going to hear the name for 90 minutes. So, yeah, again, if I was to answer that question, looking back now, I would say the two Albion Rovers strikers, Naya Joseph and Bright Prince, are probably the two toughest I've played against.
You know what, Albion Rovers?
Right.
You mentioned their the entire front
three. The front three they do have a really good front three, to be fair. I feel like that's a real strong point in their team, you know, the front three, and I've played against them twice now this season. So again, yeah, you get to play them once, and then you get the surprise of, oh, what's this player like? And then you play against them the second time, and you kind of know what to expect. But still, you know, they play well as a front three.
I think you mentioned Joe Bevan getting his move to Burnley as well in the Premier League, incredible. So I thought, when, in all fairness to Robbie, I thought he gave Joe Bevan anything in that game. I knew Joe Bevan's a good player. I've seen what he's done, but I thought.
Credit to Robbie, definitely.
A lot of praise going out to Robbie.
Robbie, if you're listening to this, well done, you know. Been really impressed.
Next question comes from Dan. He says, how do you deal with setbacks?
How do you deal with setbacks, you know?
Brush it off,
yeah, I've had a good few again, you know, like the toughest ones that you have to learn from are the ones where you maybe get released or maybe get told that you're not going to play as much and stuff like that, you know. And for me personally, you just go home. Yeah, it's going to ring in your head a few times, and then you just get back to training. You know, you get back to training as quick as you can, get back to enjoying again, get back to playing. And like anything, you get over it, you know, but you try not to get too worked up about things. That's one thing I've really learned. Don't get too upset about things. Whatever's going to be is going to be. You know, you work hard and you give it your all, you're going to get what you deserve. Mm-hmm. That's it.
And sort of moves quite nicely into our next question. Is GK is asking, what drives Danny to keep striving for greatness?
Yeah, just wanting to be a footballer, you know. Just watching football, loving football, having so many football icons. Every day I'm just watching football, and it's still like a child. I want to be like this person, you know. When you get onto the pitch, you feel like, oh, I want to impersonate this player, you know. All the top players that you watch, I really want to be like them. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, just loving football. I just want to be a really, really good defender. That's it. I just really want to be a good defender, a good footballer, and that's what keeps me going. I don't mind running, I don't mind working hard, I don't mind training extra to become what I want to become. Really, that's it.
I think there's 2 more questions to go. I know you need to get away from training before too long. This one comes in from Ethan. He says, if you could play with any footballer, any era, dead or alive, who would it be?
Wow, that's what we're just talking about, the football icons as well. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll make a back four that I would play with.
You in the back four?
Me in the back four, okay. I'll put I'll put myself centre back. Next to me, Sergio Ramos. On the left.
I like the aggression.
Yeah, Sergio Ramos. I love that guy. You know, that's been my favourite player. Growing up, I watched him probably the most. You know, on YouTube, watching the highlights, watching the Champions League. Sergio Ramos is something that you really want to be like. You know, as a defender, get stuck in.
A winner as well.
Exactly, just a winner. Do it whatever it takes to win. Paolo Maldini, that one is rolling back the clock. That would explain those old boots I have, you know. I'm trying to be like Paolo Maldini, but I really love that guy as well. You know, on the left, I'll put him on the left. On the right, probably, I don't know how to put on the right. I'm not really interested in right backs. So I just said on backs, but
too far away.
Yeah, too far away. But on the right, probably put Dani Alves. But if I had to pick one out of them, Sergio Ramos or Paolo Maldini, I really can't pick between the two. Those are my 2 favourite players of all time.
That's some choice there. Yeah. And then one final question comes from our very own Josh Gemmell.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather have, a last-minute goal or last-minute goal line clearance?
That is very good. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, shout out to Josh, my striker. Last-minute goal line clearance. Me personally, I would feel more accomplished having the goal line clearance. You know, you get that real overwhelming feeling. But again, a goal. It's better for it's both better for the team at the end of the day, you know. Scott,
you've got to defend the conflict.
Yeah, exactly. It's both best for the team, you know, but the header, bang, to win the game, maybe it's 0-0 and then you score, bang, 1-0, you win, it's special and you're happy for your team and you're happy, but for yourself, 0-0, and the ball's going over and you see it going on the line, you get a clearance to it, wow, you would feel way more satisfied, you know, in yourself. That's just me personally. I really can't pick, but I would say for the team and go for the goal, you know. Win at 1-0, clean sheet, can't complain.
Clean sheet, that's what you want at the end of
the day. Can't complain.
Mm-hmm. So, Daniel, it's been a real privilege to have you on here. Really interested to hear about your story, so thanks again and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to say thanks to everyone for either watching this or listening, however you took this podcast, and we'll be back with more instalments pretty soon, we hope. So thank you for taking time to listen to this latest episode of the Braves podcast.
Thank you.